Greetings, Commanders. In Elite Dangerous, we have access to a galaxy-sized sandbox to play in, but sometimes it can be difficult to find direction and meaning with all that freedom. One of the more enjoyable activities, geared towards the endgame, is Anti Xeno or AX combat. It's arguably one of the most difficult PvE activities currently in the game, with many nuances and techniques required to find success. What's more, the stages of difficulty in AX aren't recognized individually in-game. This was seen as an opportunity for improvement, as well as a way for individual pilots to show their skills in a meaningful way. The rank system, developed by the AXI, is a community-focused set of guidelines and challenges which aims to help pilots learn the process while having a good time as they polish their skills. Once you have the basics down, the challenge ranks are a good way to push the limits of what is possible. So let's take a look at these ranks, and what they mean for aspiring pilots like you. We'll start with the progression ranks. These are designed to be achieved in many ways, but also serve as a fundamental framework for building pilot skill, assuming you do them in order. The weapons, ships, and tactics used here have the most variety, so you can figure out which playstyle suits you personally. The skills learned in each fight all build off of one another, allowing pilots to understand the mechanics of the fight in order to get the most out of their setup and move up to the next class of interceptor.
When first starting AX combat, defeating a Cyclops might seem impossible. It's a different kind of combat to anything else in this game, and requires different ship builds and techniques to succeed. It's not gonna be easy, and it's gonna take some time, but eventually you will defeat that Cyclops and earn yourself the Apollo's Wrath role. This signifies your first steps into the world of AX combat, meaning you learned the basic mechanics and are ready to dive deeper and face all of the other challenges down the road. Inside of the AXI community, this role also gets rid of your recruit status and allows you to officially join the AXI squadron. At some point in the future, you will look back at this and go, how did I struggle that much with a Cyclops? But it's a step everybody has taken in their progression, and we must all remember that some time ago we too were just a recruit struggling to kill a Cyclops.
Full of adrenaline and excitement rightly stemming from our first true five-grade interceptor kill, it's only natural to want to move up a step and take on its tougher brother, the Basilisk. You will soon learn that a Basilisk is in an entirely different category compared to a lowly Cyclops. Not only is it tankier and hits harder, but it is also significantly faster. Most commanders would describe the progression from Cyclops to Basilisk as the steepest wall they had to climb in the AX learning journey. Taking on a Basilisk requires learning at least the basics of cold orbiting, proper heatsink usage, while getting at least somewhat proficient with using fixed weapons while having flight assist disabled. Successfully rising to a challenge awards you the Sole Survivor rank and proves your graduation from complete newbie to capable pilot who can begin to hold their own across more challenging AX scenarios.
The Medusa represents another step up in difficulty from the Basilisk. Although often considered the smallest increase in difficulty, the Medusa is not to be underestimated. Its slower speed compared to the Basilisk is the only mercy you'll see, as it boasts significantly more HP, stronger shields, a larger Thargon swarm and an additional heart, bringing the total to 6 that must be destroyed before it goes down. Commanders attempting to face this beast must refine their orbiting skills, keep a tight engagement range and ensure a consistent fire rate to be able to expose the hidden hearts. Timing is crucial, as the Medusa's attack patterns and devastating damage can quickly overwhelm unprepared pilots. Successfully bringing down a Medusa earns you the rank of Serpent's Nemesis and marks you as ready to face the horrors yet to come.
The Collector rank has a long history in our community and its members, and it is a cornerstone of the Anti Xeno Initiative. Earning this rank will be a significant milestone on your path in AX progression and for your experience in and of the AXI. Becoming a Collector requires obtaining multiple progression ranks: Apollo's Wrath, Sole Survivor and Serpent's Nemesis. You must then seek out an existing Collector or staff member to be vetted, wing up, and show that you can hold your own in a duo fight against the mighty Hydra Interceptor, earning you the Herculean Warrior rank and finally Collector. For many commanders, this is also the first proper wing experience in AX combat. And furthermore, fighting alongside an established AX commander might just teach you a thing or two for what's to come next.
Herculean Conqueror is the ultimate rank in the progression series. Here you will face off against the notorious Hydra class interceptor. This is a significant jump in difficulty from the already formidable Medusa. Hydra has an enormous health pool, backed up by the strongest armor rating and regeneration of all the variants. Individual hearts have so much health that the exertion timer can be tight even when shooting accurately. Ultimately, however, there are no new skills to learn here. Instead, you must combine and refine all that you have learned so far. Herculean Conqueror is unique in the progression series in that it needs video evidence of the fight. If you are victorious, you will have defeated the single hardest enemy in the game and will be among not just a very small minority of Elite Dangerous players, but also a very small minority of AX pilots. This is not where the challenge ends, however. In fact, this is where the challenge begins. Because to complement the standard progression series of ranks, the Anti Xeno Initiative has developed a series of challenge ranks. While the progression series of ranks focuses on the more intuitive difficulty increase of the various interceptors, the challenge series instead can limit the pilot, or their ship, or in some cases both. Each of these ranks has been designed to spotlight a different aspect of AX combat. So, depending on your preferred way to fight, you might find some of these comparatively easy, or much more difficult than most. Achieving all these, in addition to the progression series, will see you decorated with a particularly rare rank. All of the challenge series ranks require video evidence of the full fight in order to be eligible, and some will have prerequisites that must be achieved beforehand. We present them here in the order they currently appear in the Anti Xeno Initiative Discord, from most common to most rare.
The core principle of the Vanguard role is to challenge commanders to try something new. It's often the first challenge rank that commanders attempt, and it serves as a good introduction to the world of challenge ranks. The role has gone through a few iterations, but the current one requires you to kill a target of your choosing with an off-meta ship. There's a Basi category, a Duza category, and a Hydra category. The harder to use the ship is, the easier the goal you need to go up against. It's not the hardest of ranks, but it starts to put you out of your comfort zone and gets you to be more confident with different ship builds. This is where the real fun of AX starts. Experimenting with different and wacky builds will always be the best in my opinion, making you feel like a true pioneer of AX combat.
A challenge of evasion, 100% Club is one of the oldest ranks within the Anti Xeno Initiative. It involves taking down a Basilisk-class interceptor without taking enough damage to drop you from 100% hull. There are few restrictions on equipment or technique for this rank. As long as you don't repair your hull and aren't abusing any known bugs, it just comes down to how well you can hit without getting hit. We've seen everything from standard Gauss boats or mod shard spam to enhanced Anti-Xeno multi-cannons being used for this rank, so feel free to get creative. While other challenges may allow or even require aggressive tactics, this challenge relies on your defensive skill set. Swarm management via active evasion or remote release flak launcher becomes crucial when even the smallest amount of damage can tip you over the edge to 99%. Heat management with heat sinks and avoiding heat spikes is also paramount, as a single volley from the interceptor hitting your ship can end your run. Speed is your ally, treat it as such.
Like the Myrmidons at the Battle of Troy, this challenge will test whether you can use fearless aggression and firepower to take down your enemy before it has time to destroy you. The goal of this challenge is to push pilots to not just survive the battle, but to efficiently take down Thargoids as quickly as possible, negating the numerical superiority of their armadas with our elite pilots' sheer ferocity. To achieve this rank, you must take down a Medusa variant interceptor under a specific time limit, which varies based on the class of ship you are piloting: 6 minutes for large ships, 8 minutes for medium ships, and 16 minutes for small ships. Since this rank is connected to our speedrunning leaderboards, applying for it involves using our Discord bot's speedrun command in our speedrunning channel, where you can also ask for focused assistance on slaying Thargoids faster. Make it onto the leaderboards, and everyone will remember your name.
Soaring Sleipnir is a challenge of your intuition. This fight will pit you against a Medusa interceptor using your favourite ship and loadout, with one simple restriction. The fight must be completed from start to finish with your HUD switched off. This can be an intimidating challenge because it is quite unlike anything before. Not having a crosshair is an immediately obvious limitation. Not only will this disrupt your aim, it effectively eliminates your ability to deal with the swarm, meaning this fight will have to be done without flak. With no visible range indicator or easy availability to synth heatsinks, your efficient orbit control is going to be tested. Since the release of modified Guardian shard cannons, it's been a popular approach to speedrun or stunlock this challenge. Their high damage against shields and wider cone of fire compared to Gauss make them an ideal weapon for this method. Regardless of your approach, this challenge will help you trust your eyes as much as your HUD. May the Force be with you, Commander. Cerberus Bane, namesake of the mythical multi-headed dog that guards the entrance to the underworld. This challenge will test your ability to combat multiple interceptors and swarms simultaneously. Every variant of an interceptor is assigned a points value, and you must destroy a minimum total of points in a single fight. Cyclops is worth 1 point, Basilisk is worth 2 points, Medusa and Hydra are both worth 4 points. To achieve this rank, you will need to destroy a points value of 6 or more. The most popular combination of interceptors to fight for this rank is a Medusa accompanied by a Basilisk, if you have the patience to arrange the instance though. 6 Cyclops will also do it. Due to the inefficiency of managing multiple swarms with flak, this fight will likely again see you flying without it. Evasion will be critical while trying to stay out of their path, while also dodging fire from the interceptors. Consequently, large ships will be at a big disadvantage here. Prove to the Thargoid menace that strength in numbers is no strength at all.
In the Astrea's Clarity Challenge, pilots aspire to match the unerring accuracy of the namesake goddess of precision. Make every shot count. A simple sentiment, but becomes quite a complicated endeavor once you factor in the Thargoid's regenerative capabilities, the fall-off range of the Gauss cannon, and the general mobility involved in AX combat. To accomplish this challenge, the pilot needs to slay a Medusa variant interceptor while flying solo and while expending a maximum of 175 basic rounds of Gauss ammunition, fired from no more than 3 medium Gauss cannons. The only source of damage for the interceptor's hull during this engagement can be the Gauss cannons, as whittling down the interceptor's final hull through ramming or non-AX weaponry might be a neat trick, but not in the spirit of this challenge.
Hephaestus Shunned, or better known as Heph, is named after the Greek god of the forge who created weapons and armor. This is a rank that involves bringing a ship with no engineering against a Medusa-class interceptor. Things like modified shard cannons and serious heat-sink launchers are engineered, so these are not allowed. Non-modified Guardian modules like the Guardian Power Distributor or Hull Reinforcement Package are allowed. Alongside the normal challenge requirement of a full recording, it's also required for you to show all your modules in the module panel before or after the fight to ensure none of them are engineered. Before being awarded this rank, you'll have to acquire the Collector Other rank. Achieving Hef shows that you understand the Thargoids enough to really put the hurt on them without relying on raw stats to carry you through the fight. You'll also appreciate your engineered modules a lot more after taking on a Medusa without them.
Snake Eater is a challenge that provides a glimpse of what AX combat was like in the early days before Guardian technology, when we were utterly technologically outmatched, and engaging the alien forces was a foolhardy effort that took a lot of grit. While we are not able to perfectly replicate the conditions of these historic times due to multiple changes in the game and the Thargoids themselves that occurred throughout the years, we can make a close enough approximation. You will find your loadout severely limited and restricted to basic AX multi-cannons and missiles. For the up-to-date requirements for this challenge, refer to our Rank Requirements webpage. If you can prove you can still manage to take down a Basilisk variant interceptor after giving up all advantages offered by modern AX technology, then you'll be welcomed into the ranks of the Snake Eaters, one of our rarest and hardest achievements.
Phenomenal Cosmic Flower. Itty bitty little ship. The Swarm is a unique challenge rank as it's the only one which is an obligate wing rank. It is death by 1,000 cuts in the truest sense. Commanders and Sidewinders, Haulers or a combination of both need to take down a Medusa and nobody can die. Only 4 guns are allowed between 2, 3 or 4 commanders, so choose your ships wisely. Oh, and to make it a proper challenge, you have to use basic ammo only and nobody can return after leaving the fight. This can be a tricky one, as video proof from each pilot is required for anyone to receive the rank. So be sure your recording software is set up correctly before starting. Only the survivors are eligible to receive the rank, so try to stay alive, okay?
A commander who earns all challenge ranks will also earn the Decent Pilot meta rank. Our challenge ranks are all meant to teach you something. They are challenging, but fair. What a decent pilot has learned through their journey, we have captured in what we call the Decent Pilot Manifesto. A decent pilot shall not overly rely on their HUD. A decent pilot shall know how to avoid damage. A decent pilot makes their shots count. A decent pilot won't let their ship carry them. A decent pilot can fight in numerical inferiority. A decent pilot dictates the pace of the engagement. A decent pilot knows wing mechanics and can effectively coordinate in a small ship's wing. A decent pilot has learned to appreciate engineering by having mastered combat without it. A decent pilot can control range while staying on target for extended periods of time. As of the time of this video, 75 commanders have earned the right to be recognized as decent pilots of the Anti Xeno Initiative. And, who knows, maybe you will someday add to their ranks.
There are several ranks amongst those in the Anti Xeno Initiative that don't follow the traditional flow of progression. Each of these ranks is in a category all its own, but they generally fall into 2 types. They either are combat related and don't mesh with other progression ranks, or they're more about recognizing people's efforts outside of combat. Caduceus's Glint is the rank for those that wish to push the boundaries of anti-Xeno combat. This is a limited rank, and it's only awarded to those that have the fastest recorded kill without giving in any ship size and interceptor type grouping. The majority of these runs use a method called stun locking to keep the Thargoid in place and by forcing it to stay in its sleep phase. This is achieved by staying outside of your minimum detection range and either staying below the detection heat threshold or utilizing silent running. There are many things working against you in these runs, but by far the largest one is time. You have only a short window to ensure that the Thargoid stays in its sleep state, otherwise it will wake up and do its best to ruin your run. Then you have to contend with heat. Silent running increases the heat generation of your ship massively, and you will near instantly hit the heat percent for max module damage. This gives you right around 4 minutes, if you're lucky, before your modules start melting from heat damage, not to mention the swarm bombarding you. So, if you like fast-paced fights, why not take a shot at claiming a glint for yourself? The other ranks in AXI are less geared towards AX combat. There's the event-related champions and survivors. Those in the Axon squadron that prefer to work in the background can show their loyalty to AXI by pushing its influence. The Seekers of Knowledge who help shape what we know about the Thargoids. The people that would disrupt AX pilots and those that would come to their aid. We recognize the pilots that came before, and we celebrate those that teach the generation to come.
I hope this video has been helpful and has cleared up any confusion you may have had about the rank system. Remember, the most important thing is to stay alert and be prepared. Now, it's about time to get out there and show the Thargoids what you can do. The Anti Xeno Initiative is always here to support you on your journey into AX combat. Thank you for joining us in the fight to protect humanity. Glory to mankind.